everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. I apologize for the very, very massive delay. If you were unaware, well, probably you were aware if you're keeping up with us. I've been delayed on my Heels episode review. I've been delayed very heavily. I already warned everyone prior that, that I was going to go away on a trip before episode 6 came out. But at the same time, there was 2 series finale moments I had to cover. I was emotional. I was also going through some personal stuff in my life. So I didn't quite have the time to fit everything in. And sadly, I was like, well, I could wrap up High School Musical and Nancy Drew and then give Heels the floor to itself, get the entire stage of Heels for the remaining content rollout for it, which I decided to do so. So I do apologize for y'all for waiting around. I do apologize, but sometimes when it comes to show business, sometimes you have to weigh out what is the more, not beneficial, but like what makes more sense for what I'm feeling in the moment. Because like that's one of the consequences for me reviewing multiple shows at once, is that sometimes certain shows are going to take priority and other shows are going to be left out a little bit. So I do apologize. That wasn't my intention. I love Heels a lot. I really do. And having, I'm very thankful that I got to bank on some episodes now. It's because, like, as soon as I'm recording this, episode 7 came out, so I'm really behind. So we will review the season finale live. It's just, we've just been very delayed with a lot of stuff. But now it's all Heels time, baby. It's all Heels time. Second half of the roll. Let's get this rolling. Like, I'm very happy. And this episode, again, sorry, I'm trying to frame myself correctly, was really, really great. It really was. This felt more like the rising action. A lot of twists and turns, stuff you don't expect. Some new developments late in the game, and honestly, some surprising character moments that I really again. It's been 3 weeks away from me. I haven't seen Heels at all. I saw a couple of the promo posters when I was away on vacation, and I was like, wow, I really wish like I could have had the opportunity to review this live, but I just couldn't. I literally didn't have time to do anything, and I know I shouldn't excuse myself to it. I know I'm on vacation, so I should enjoy. I've done so much this past year with the reviews and of course my personal life and work. So, but at the same time, like, it's so freaking great, this show. It's like I'm so close, and I honestly want to see how the last 3 episodes of the season are gonna roll out. But this could enter still, and I'm talking about 5 episodes in, we are still going as strong as we started. And the fact that maybe, I'm just very, very excited to see where things are going to push from here, and that this show could enter my top 10 series of all time. It won't be in the big top, that takes a while to go to. Only time I ever seen was Rookie, but like that was like such a rare exception. This is like so freaking good. This really is. I'm very excited. And this episode definitely continues the trend very much as we're setting up the second half of the season. And I'm still very much curious how this is all going to end. Like, there's just so many possibilities and stuff like that, and how it's all going to line up. We'll find out in a bit. We'll find out. Well, for me, I'll find out in a bit. Like, literally this entire week, like in 1 week, I will be binging the entire second half of Heels. And that's amazing. I that was not the way I would have preferred it. I would have loved to do this week to week, like originally planned out. But at the end of the day, for me as a fan, I'm like, okay, this is great. I can immediately go to episode 6, episode 7, wait a little bit. There you go, season finale. And hopefully there's a season 3 renewal as soon as the strike is over. But with that being said, let's talk about the Butcher recap and let's go talk about this week's episode. Let's go for the Butcher recap. It's been a while. I've been doing season reviews. I'm a little bit out of the loop, so I do apologize. I should be back on my usual straight man approach next time. Let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Heels. So we pick up right where we left off last week. The Condemned has appeared. Ace has returned to the screen as the Condemned. Well, the Condemned, whatever they're going to call it. I'm going to call it the Condemned. It's just make it easier for my brain. Everyone's obviously, shocked as hell. They don't know what the hell's going on. It's like, who's this guy? What the hell's going on? Like, and obviously everyone, even on the DWL side, like the entire crew and stars, they're like, the fuck just happened? Like, this wasn't part of the script. This wasn't part of the plan. Wild Bill, being such the professional he is, manages to kind of like, keep the ball rolling, act like he knows like what's going on, kind of like keeping them at who is the Condemned? What's gonna happen? Come back next week, folks. And so again, but everyone's still flabbergasted, like, what the hell's going on? Soon enough, they notice the crown on the stadium, and they know, okay, it's Ace. Ace is back finally. After a few weeks away, Ace is back. Everyone back in the locker rooms are excited. They're happy that Ace is back, but at the same time, they're also like, why did Jack keep us out of the loop? Like, we're supposed to be this well tight-knit team that has open transparency, and the biggest like pop of the night, and Jack didn't prepare us for it. And honestly, everyone's kind of surprised. Everyone's still like, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That, Ace's return has been like a little bit of a mixed reaction because, again, it's not because it didn't impress people. It's just that they didn't know about it. Even Wild Bill's trying to act like, well, I'm pretty sure Jack and Ace probably planned this like moments before the show. So I'm like, there really wouldn't have been time for the whole staff to know about it. So then, mind you, I think in order, yeah, Ace comes in, very lukewarm response. He's just, again, like, after knowing what he knows in the past, like this past first half of the season, he's not entirely okay with the whole the DWL league anymore. He's kind of like, okay, we're just working patrons. We're not even friends. Okay, I'm just here to do what I want to do finally, be able to creatively express myself, and that's about it. Fuck y'all. Wild Bill tries to continue working with Diego about, which I finally remember his damn name, about the podcast coming up. They gotta cover this entire night for the next episode. And Diego's like kind of like lukewarm, very dry response, like, okay, just text me the notes and I'll plan it out. And he's like, okay, kind of weird to say. Jack congratulates Ace for his return. Again, Jack's trying to be this new Jack, where he's trying to be more open, he's trying to be more flexible. He's like, hey, Ace, you did a great job. That was exactly the response we needed. You should not critique yourself. This was only the first step of everything. And obviously, again, it's great for these brothers to be finally working together, to be on the same page, with each other creatively. And honestly, that's exactly what I think Ace has been wanting since the show's beginning, where he just wanted a seat at the table, and he finally has it, despite having to almost break his freaking leg for it. Crystal congratulates El Dorado for the night, and that the show was great. And El Dorado said, "Yeah, good luck. Have fun. Out there." Considering the fact, again, as much as they announced the DWL Women League, yeah, I said that right. There's really just the two of them. El Dorado's probably just going to be here for Cannon Falder for the next few weeks, and then after that, she's going to be dipped out because there is no other woman fighters for Crystal to fight. That was just that was a 1 week solution type of ordeal. I think Ace has a conversation with one of the wrestlers. I think it's the one with the kid now, about just again, similar to what I was talking about, how the Ace never really had much of a friendship with the other wrestler. It was kind of just more like a companionship. And he's even expressing that yeah, I'm sorry, but I hope you consider me as one of your friends. I hope so. Ace is like, okay. Chills, man. Ace leaves, starts to endow himself in the newfound success of his new character. Everyone's wanting his autograph, everyone wanting attention on him, and again, Ace Pate's back on top. However, as for everyone else, Jack is completely getting literally manhandled by Gully, who's extremely pissed off that A, he didn't know about it, B, the planned finale did not go off as a hitch, and C, that basically he was just left out of the cold. He didn't know shit. And that's exactly what Gully does. He does not like to be involved in something he does not know everything of. And Jack is expressly honest with him, saying that, hey, Ace came to me at the very last moment, saying, I got this idea, I got this character, I got this plan, let's do it. And Jack did tell Rooster. And Gully's like, you know what, fuck Rooster, I'll deal with him tomorrow. Right now, I'm here for you. We made a deal, I'm trying my best to work with you so you don't get sued by me and my rich lawyers. And this is not the plan. This was not the plan. I'm a little bit like Gully's just basically trying to get everything on his time. It's all about the dystopia. The dystopia league has to win every time they're on the stage, and that makes sense. And especially he's the one who's got the balls in his hand. He can sue them whenever he wants. He got the legality to do so, and he can win. So I'm not surprised he has to, and Jack has to bend the other way. But he's just mad that his two guys got taken out by the Condemned, and this was not the plan. So he's like, okay, you know what, fine. We can turn this around. Next Saturday, y'all come to my stadium. The Condemned's going to be there, and I'm going to kick his ass there. That's how we're going to make things right. And if you don't fucking do that, I'm going to go resume the lawsuit. Which I'm like, great, this is going to still be another long 3 weeks, isn't it? Jack has no choice but to I'll talk to Ace about it. Can't promise you anything. But Gully's like, nope. It's got to happen like that. Otherwise, the deal's off. So Dystopia leaves, and obviously, Jack is thrown against the corner here, where he's trying to explore this new era of the DWO where it's cooperation and more honestly an open floor discussion for how the league should be progressed in the future. But at the same time, he's kind of stuck in this month-long chokehold with Gully and Dystopia, and he was asking Bill, of all people, what is your recommendation? Oh, God, Savior. Of all your years in the wrestling profession, what do you have to save my ass. And you know, Wild Bills is basically summarizing the entire season in like a very close words, like, yeah, you fucked. But with all of us together, we should be able to find a way to get out of this. And I'm like, great, Bill. That's great, insightful words for you. Great. I want to say, I think there's a couple more scenes before we go to the next morning. Yeah, so Crystal meets up with her boyfriend. They're just, enjoying each other's company, kissing each other. Crystal spots Willie coming out, already pitching to her. It's like, hey, okay, so what's next? Okay, that was a great match today. Condemned, my match, great. That was another great week for the DWL. So what's next week? Like, when can we start, like, getting more women fighters into the ring? And she's like, bro, are you already demanding more stuff again? We throw you even more bones, and you're still asking for this. It's like, hey, look, cut a promo next week for yourself. Try to keep your momentum going, and then we'll talk about the week after that how we're gonna, handle your next round of fighters. And she's like, hey, look, Jack may be busy, but you and me, the gal team, we can go and recruit our own women's league, have tryout, get people on board, start building it up, potential new characters for the storyline. And again, Willie's just trying to be like, look, we all had a long night today. Today was a very long night. Right now, what I want to do and what we need to do is just, take a step back. This was great. This is great for you. This is great for your title. But right now, we have other things to focus about. So let's take a pin on this. Let's go talk about this another time. But for now, I'll take the week off. And obviously, Crystal's not, happy with that, considering the fact she wants to keep her reign going. She wants to still be focused. And I'm not surprised. Like, it's the similar thing when it comes to social media. Social media influencers. Like, they have to be in the constant, they have to be on your feeds, they have to be somewhere on your screen to keep the attention going. Because literally, there's just so much competition out there. You're going to get buried out. And I'm like, that is very, very true. You can't, not everyone can be a Mr. Beast where, like, okay, he could take like 2-3 weeks off, and then when he comes back, boom, everyone comes running back. Like, it's not like that. Like, when it comes to the average creators, they need to constantly put out product in order for them to still be in the conversation. Yeah, so, and then finally, Jack has the scene with Stacy. Before they go, Stacy expresses her concerns about, hey, I noticed this woman coming by a few days ago about looking for Willie, and then I saw her today with Willie. Willie gave her, like, a bag full of money, and it's like, I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on. And Jack's like, well, she's the accountant. She's our accountant. She's our tax lady. That's how Willie and her like to do business. Okay. Nothing more we can do. Like, that's just the way she conducts business, and then we're just going to leave it at that. So, obviously, Crystal still got her concerns about the whole thing, but we'll cut to that a little bit later. Yeah, we're off to the next morning. Jack and Ace and even Stacy are talking about, like, how things are going forward. Jack pitches to Ace that, hey, we should go, you, the Condemned, got a request from Gully to go back to Dystopia for the week, do a show there, and then come back. And again, Ace is like, yeah, no, that's a waste of time. Like, why would we ruin the momentum for them? Like, why we're just starting this storyline, we're just starting this character. Like, why do we need to, like, go all the way out of Florida when the focus should be here in Duffy? And Jack agrees. Like, honestly, if it's any given day of the week, Jack would agree. But right now, Jack is trying to be. He's stuck in a vice grip where, like, he needs to somehow get Ace out there, but at the same time, he kind of doesn't want to, like, push him away again. So I'm like, it's a very delicate balance. And Stacey's just trying to be the supportive sister-in-law / wife that she is. So I'm like, she's just trying her best to, like, hey, I'm just in the middle here. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about, like, anything. Everything. You're doing the right thing, Ace. You're doing the right thing. We come up to Florida. Gully's ripping into Rooster's ass about not letting him know. And Rooster's just like, hey, look, I was focusing on the show. I got my phone on. I ain't trying to scroll through TikTok, trying to scroll through social media. I'm focusing on the performance. I'm focusing on the show. What Jack told me, okay, that was great for me. I just didn't have time to tell you. You can't blame me for that. That's not my fault. That's Jack's fault. Don't blame me for that. Like, I am thinking about my performance to earn my pay. And that's all I care about. And Gully's kind of like, stuck in a vice grip again. We're like, you're not wrong, but at the same time, Gully just likes to be in control whatsoever. But their conversation gets interrupted when Gully's daughter, which I'm like, Gully has a daughter? Really? Someone actually, well, actually, I'm not surprised. Never mind. She comes to say they have a potential business partnership prospect contacting them about a potential partnership. And Gully's like, interesting. Let's have a word from there. So we cut over to somewhere in the East Coast, or maybe the West Coast. I'm not really sure. It's some sort of like social media firm. I'm not really sure what the hell this is. I've already forgot the name of it. But the most important part is former villain of Stephen Amell's, who played Prometheus and Arrow, and he also was in She-Hulk. Adrian Che. I forgot the actor. Oh, Josh Sigoria. I think that's how you pronounce it. But he was Prometheus on Arrow. He played one of the lawyers in She-Hulk. So he has a decent sized resume. Plus, I'm not surprised Stephen Amell wants to keep friends around on the show. You know, he's already been doing that already. So I'm not surprised if he'll bring more people involved from, you know, Arrow and other stuff like that. I want the Diggle cameo. I need a Diggle cameo. I know it's not Diggle. That's the character. I just mean the actor. Wait, Diggle. We need him. We need him back. Yeah, so they're a social media empire, or like an up-and-coming one, like, you know, ones that are like starting to get like real footing, and they want to look for some new avenues to like start making more money on. And, you know, he's pitching wrestling, you know, especially independent wrestling, you know, that right now independent wrestling brought in $1 billion of revenue alone in the last year. So them having a piece of the pie would not be a bad investment. And the real CEO is like, okay, you know what, go for it, fucking, you know, more money is more money. Just be very, very responsible while you're in Florida. We cut over back to the DWL. Wild Bill's about to start recording his podcast. Diego's, you know, still being very much grumpy, and when it's actually Wild Bill finally beginning to show you are a human being, Wild Bill. That he asks him, what's going on? Like, you've just been sulking for like the past like day and a half. What's going on? And yeah, Diego's concerned because, like, you know, ever since the dinner they had with the other wrestlers and, you know, especially at the convention, he's just like, Diego just feels like an employee. He doesn't feel like he's a partner. He just feels like he's being used like a mule. And he didn't agree to that. He'll do it because, like, he's a loyal person. He's like, you know, if he promises something, he's going to do it. But at the same time, he's just like, yeah, I'm not growing. Like, you're not helping me out. Like, I'm just your lackey. I'm just your podcast, you know, producer. I'm not someone who's going to speak on it. It's the Wild Bill show. It's not the Wild Bill and Diego show. And Wild Bill hears him out. They start recording the podcast, and then he immediately says, we are officially retitling the podcast to the Wild Bill and Diego show. And I'm just like, that sounds like my only problem with these podcasts, and I know I tried to make podcasts several times in the history of this channel, but I'm just saying that, of all things, like, what was the intention span here, like, with that name? Again, this has to be workshop. And I know he only did this to, like, you know, make Diego happy. And I do believe he does have consideration for Diego's feelings. And maybe he's actually fine just trying to grow a heart, Wild Bill. I think you're starting to grow one. You're not a Grinch after all. Chris, I keep confusing the two names. Stacy's working around the DWL trying to help out with, like, any minor repairs and everything else. And I keep forgetting, yeah, she doesn't have a job. Like, I think she did have a job. I think she quit. Or maybe she didn't have a job. Season 1's been so long ago. She's trying to repair, trying to, like, you know, make little saving maneuvers. Willie's just like, oh, cool. Have fun with it. And eventually, again, Stacey, this is a smart show, like, Stacey doesn't leave what's on her head, like, dragging onward. She actually asks, you know, Willie flat out, like, who was that woman? Why was she so aggressive? Why'd she give her money? And, like, you know, she's just trying to, like, you know, peer into the vat more. And Willie's like, hey, you really don't want to do that. You really do not want to peer into all the shit that DW has gotten through in the past, in every decade possible. You do not want to know. And eventually she pushes Willie a little too far. That she does admit a lot of things where she's like, do you think you, a housewife who's just helping out sometimes, really think she's going to fix all the problems we have? Right now, we're just on survival mode. Like, the things that, you know, that lady that came over demanding her money, the things she has to do to keep us in business with the taxpayers alone is just like, we should be grateful we're still here. You have no idea how many freaking loans and debts and mortgages that Tom Spade took out to afford the DWL. You have no idea how much financial debt we're in as a company, as a league. We're lucky we're even here. If the lawsuit happens, we're fucked. There's no reserve. There's no money. The money they've earned, like, their profit, you know, weeks, they're not victories. Like, it's great. It's like, it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like, it's only just like, it's helping out a little bit, but like, the problems just exponate. It really just exponate. And Tom should have really shut down the DWL when he could, because now he's just like in a mountain of debt. There's no way, I don't think in Jack's lifetime he's going to be able to pay that off, unless they get like a really, really, really big WWE level contract. It's never going to happen. They're just way too much in debt, and they're just trying right now to just keep the ship afloat. And Willie just like kind of dismisses her, like, there's nothing you can do. There really isn't. Like, I'm pretty sure deep down she appreciates that she cares somewhat, but at the same time, there's nothing you can do right now. There's nothing you could do to help pay this off. And that's the truth. And like, in a way, Stacy got put in her place a little bit. I want to say, yeah, so Jack calls in Rooster to his office to have a meeting, which I'm like, damn, Rooster travels fast. Like, I forgot, like, if Duffy's in Indiana or anything like that. I don't know the state geography and stuff, but that's surprising that, that Rooster literally flew or drove all the way back out to the DWL. And I'm just like, damn, dude, like, damn, like, you travel fast just for a freaking in-person meeting. And I know that everybody's filmed in Georgia. I'm just saying, like, it's just, like, funny to say the least. Again, the whole point of this is, like, for Bruce to say, like, look, Gully is a pain in my ass. But he wants Ace. He wants Ace at Dystopia this weekend. It's got to happen. Otherwise, you're sued. Again, this was probably just another way for Ace to know, like, he is needed at Dystopia. If he's not there willingly, then the lawsuit's going to happen. And this was Ace's way of figuring out what the hell Gully's really doing with the DWL. Now, Ace actually heard this. He's like, okay, fuck it. I'll go. Like, I don't want this to be shut down. I don't want this thing to, like, end before we're just really getting started. And Jack, for once, is like, saying, like, no, I appreciate your opinion. I want you to be happy. If you're not happy with Dystopia, don't go. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with Gully. But he's like, no, like, I want to help. I want to, like, I'll go for y'all and, like, actually, do what I got to do. But, like, like, it's like being pinned on a needle wall. Like, you really don't want to do it, but at the same time, you kind of have to do it. And, like, honestly, again, the scene was like a sign of growth between Jack and Ace, where, like, Ace is finally, like, acknowledging the bigger picture. But at the same time, Jack is also acknowledging, like, the fact that other people's opinions matter, other people's feelings matter. It's not just what he wants and that's it, game over. Like, I appreciate this scene, like, demonstrating growth for both characters, as we've progressed so many episodes from now. And Willie comes up with an idea, hey, look, why don't we also give them Crystal? Like, okay, Ace doesn't want to stay on stage that long. Okay, give him Crystal. Like, let Crystal stay on stage more often. She wants more screen time. She wants more attention on her. Like, this is a win-win. Pitch it to Gully, see what he thinks, and, we'll drive them both down there to Florida and then, let them do the thing. And Jack's like, not a bad idea, but we basically got no other options. So Willie talks to Crystal about the whole idea. Crystal agrees, thinking this could be a great direction for her, great direction, like, keep her momentum going. And also Willie does promise her, like, yes, once we do come back from this, we will begin auditioning for people for the Women's League. Like you said, we got to, like, start thinking about the future and actually start pivoting to that direction, because that's where possibly the attention might be going forward. So definitely it's just another one of those yeah, somehow it just conveniently works out for Crystal, so she doesn't really complain about it. Crystal's packing her thing. She's getting some supportive advice from her boyfriend. Very sweet, those two couples. Very sweet man. He deserves the best of him. I forgot, Willie said a comment earlier where she's like, hey, wear a condom in this one. Any offspring from him ain't gonna be smart. But you never know. Genetics, you could get a young Sheldon. You could. You never really know. So they pack up all their things. They do a drive out all the way out to Dystopia. They walk in and it's like, okay, this just feels way too weird. Like last time they were in Dystopia, they were already like kicking ass and taking names. Now, Jack's there with a script. Ace is getting into Jack and the character. It's gonna be a big old fun night, which I'm like, oh great. Well, what can obviously go wrong? What can go wrong? We cut to the middle of the show. Crystal's fighting one of the Dystopia's top women fighters. They're doing well in their matchup. Again, like, you really don't know what's gonna happen. You really don't know. Crystal takes care of her with ease. Gully comes in, obviously, in character, talks to her, gets this whole spiel about her, and, like, basically offers her, hey, look, I'm offering you 100 grand right now to leave the DWL, come with us, be with the winning team. Crystal says some dynamic about, like, that, and obviously, it's a script, mind you, where, like, the Spade brothers have welcomed me into their home. Like, this is an actual home, a place where I feel belonging in. Like, your money ain't gonna value anywhere to that. All the wrestlers show up in protest against Crystal. Jack comes out ready to defend her, ready to, like, protect her, to fight with her. And Gully's like, nah, man, this was all a setup. She's only doing is stab you in the back, what she does. Which is an interesting approach. Interesting. It would be very interesting to see Crystal, being with Dystopia for a few weeks before the finale. Will she actually fully turn? Who knows? Who really knows? Like, the board's right open to that. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen. I really don't know. I wasn't spoiled on 6 or 7 yet, so I really don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'm actually surprised with you. Ace comes in, asks to condemn. The two of them fight some of the wrestlers off. However, there's still a bunch of them, and all of them. This was all scripted, so like they managed to escape via the cover to shadow. Sounds like Batman or Robin or some shit like that. Again, the night popped off as a success. Crystal's now part of Dystopia. Jack and Ace kind of fulfilled their, okay, that's another week done. That's another week done with Dystopia. Just 2 more weeks to go, and we're in the clear. Or 3 weeks to go. I really don't know how many weeks in timeline is. The big promoter, the big social media guy, Adrian Chase / Josh Rustic. I don't know his character's name. I'm going to call him, not Adrian Chase. I'm going to call him that until I figure out his damn name. Gully doesn't notice him at all anymore in the stand. He's like, what the hell's going on? Okay, let's enjoy the moment. Let's enjoy the moment. Turns out he actually is going to Willie to talk to her about, hey, tell me everything about the Spades and Crystal. I want to know everything about that. Which I'm like, this could be the good fortune the DW has been looking for. This could be it. But what will actually happen with this meeting? What would actually happen? We'll find out next week, hopefully. Well, next time, because I keep forgetting the episode already came out. Because that was it for this episode of Heels. I love this so much. I really did. It was just so freaking cool to see Jack and Ace finally on friendly terms. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of like that. They've always been in each other's throat. They've always had this ulterior I don't like him. I don't like him right now. And now they're finally on the same page. They're finally actual brothers working together. It's so beautiful. It's so great. Obviously, the timing could not be the worst. Gully being the dickbag that he is. It very much is a dickbag, trying to get his way, trying to squeeze out as much juice out of Jack to teach him a lesson. He actually is a perfect antagonist. Where he's not trying to do this for malicious intent, but he's just a dick. He's just a fucking dick. And that sometimes you gotta make your antagonists just like that. Just make them be a dick. As for everything else going on, Wild Bill actually growing a heart is actually pretty sweet. I'm still questionable. I'm still not fully convinced Wild Bill is a true-hearted person. I don't think so. I'm still thinking there's going to be some sort of right hook we're not expecting. At least that's what I believe. Maybe I could be wrong. Who knows? But him actually being considerate of Diego's feelings. Him actually trying to be a better human being. Whether that was in a relationship with how he was in the beginning of the season, or just the conversation he had with the other wrestlers last episode. Whatever that might be, it was actually pretty sweet to see that. It was actually sweet. I'll give credit to Wild Bill for once there. Stacy trying to get involved with the WL was courageous. It was definitely kind of give her a sense of us trying to get closer to her husband, trying to be more closer to his life. Not knowing the fact that the DWL is basically fucked financially, even if the lawsuit doesn't work out, if they don't make any money anytime soon, eventually it's all going to crash and burn. Eventually, it's not one of those 1, 2, 3 type of ordeals. So definitely her knowing all this fact is very much a little bit concerning to her, but she's trying her best to figure out how does she best handle it going forward, mind you. And honestly, all else, just again, I'm just so happy Jack and Ace are actually being friendly, brotherly towards each other again. It's great to see. It's very sweet to see. Hopefully nothing bad happens in the next 3 weeks to basically ruin it. Hopefully nothing happens. But Crystal turns to Dystopia, whether that's scripted or purposeful or not. It will be a very interesting turn. See how she's going to be on the other side of things. It'll be very interesting whether she turns or not. This could be her Darth Vader moment. Maybe no. Who really knows? But yeah. For the time being, for now, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it so much. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of Heels. I would love to hear your conversations down below. But I would... but I already forgot what I was going to say. And so if you're unaware, this has been Wasn't Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the second season of Heels. If you're a big fan of Heels, you're in luck. We'll be back in a couple days with the next episode review, and then the next one after that, then the big old season finale. It's a big Heels week. The Heels week has begun. Stay tuned. I apologize for the delays. It wasn't my intent, but now we're back in full force. So stick around for it. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you Heels out there, thank you so much for your patience. I'll see y'all in a couple days for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other, and as always, peace out.